Alright guys, how is going? It's day number 94 of my talk in front of the camera and of my challenge 100 days. So it's kind of fun, also I'm pretty glad because of that, not gonna lie. And today I continue with IELTS questions and I'm going to talk about plans. So without long introduction, I would like just to get started. So do you keep any plans at home? To be honest, I'm not aware about how my house because I don't remember about that, but I definitely know that I have no plants at all in my room. And it's probably not really good because when I lived in Ukraine, I had a winter steel and I had a bunch of plants on it, you know. So currently, I don't have anyone. I don't have any plant in my room. So, what kinds of plants did you grow when you were a child? It's a good question because I don't remember at all. I'm not sure that I was growing some kind of plants. Like, I remember when I was in the garden with my grandparents and we grew something probably that that weren't fruits, that weren't plants, that were like vegetables, but I'm not sure about that really. I don't really remember. I have no I have no clear memorized about it, so I can't tell about it anything. So, do you know how to take care of plants? I guess yes, I know, since as I mentioned, I had a bunch of plants in my room when I lived in Ukraine and I needed to care about them. So, first of all, I had to water them from time to time, and also those plants have to be provided with access to sunlight. Like, it's necessary for them to stay alive and in that time I provided those plants with those things, so I guess it's the most important, like sunlight and water them from time to time. All right, would you like to learn more about gardening? To be honest, not really. I'm not interested in gardening, in plants. Like, I really enjoy nature. I enjoy to spend time in forests, in different parks with a bunch of trees. But I don't really care how to plant it, how to look after those plants. So I have no really desire to learn about it. Alright, do people in your country send plants as gifts? Yes, it's pretty ubiquitous. I don't know. I can talk, of course, about flowers, but um, except flowers, there are some plants that are common to present as a gift. So yeah, like when you have a birthday and when someone has a birthday or another holiday, no matter, like it's something ubiquitous for you. I just realized I didn't think about it previously, and now I'm reflecting on it, and I realized that yeah, it's pretty common thing to send plants as a gift. Yep. All right, what's the easiest plant to grow indoors? I don't know. I have never grown plants indoors. Like, yes, I had a bunch of plants in my room. I cared about them, but I have no insight into plants, how to grow them. I mean, so I don't know. I feel that I choose a topic, and in each question I'm answering I don't know. Like, what the hell, bro? All right, let's move on, and it's part two. Describe a plant that is common in your country you should say what the plant is. Bro, alright, it's a bit noisy here, but let me continue. So, what the plant is, where it grows, what it looks like, and explain why it is popular in your country. Alright, so not gonna lie, I prepared a bit to talk about this question because I wanted to tell about one plant, but I didn't really know a lot how to grow it, how does work. So, alright, let me get started. I'm going to talk about Kalina. It's one of the most popular, the most ubiquitous plant in Ukraine, and there are two reasons for that. It's natural and cultural reasons. So the first one is natural. So this plant is tend to grow in temperate zones with I don't remember how this goes with soil, with a great soil. Like, let me check. I probably have somewhere this fertile, yeah, with fertile soil, and also with moderate rain, with plenty of sunlight, and usually all those conditions are typical for most parts in Ukraine. So due to nature, it's a great plant to grow in Ukraine. Also, this plant is it's a hardy plant that can live during the winter or during the poor winter conditions, for example. So it means that Kalina is able to be immortal, like no matter what's going on around, you know. And the second reason is cultural. So from the cultural perspective, perspective or from the cultural perspective, it what the hell, bro? So from the cultural perspective, Kalina holds deep symbols, like it represents beauty, like resilience and cultural identity. So it's very important, like this plant, Kalina, is very important for Ukraine. It has appeared in a bunch of music, poetry, and just in different kind of legends, even, you know. So because of this strong historical and I don't know, because of this connection, people decided to plant it, like beside their homes, beside churches, and just in public places. And due to this action, they helped to spread this plant across the country naturally. So, in nutshells, it's a plant, Kalina. It's the most ubiquitous in Ukraine one because of cultural and because of natural conditions. And so it grows in Ukraine because of favorable natural conditions and yeah, as I mentioned, because of centuries of historical experience. Yeah. So, where's my questions? I don't know, it's kind of hard to talk about some things, you know, like I wanted, bro, I closed my question. Alright, I got it. So it's hard to talk because such words like fertile, right? Fertile, it's even not fertile, it's fertile. Fertile soil. It was the first time when I hear this word, but I really wanted to say about it because in Ukraine we have really fertile soil and it's really suitable to grow there such plants as Kalina, for example. Alright, so we can move on, and it's part 3, and the theme is theme. It's plants, nature, and society. So why do people enjoy growing plants? Alright, not gonna lie, I don't know people who enjoy to grow plants just because in my surrounding it isn't something really popular, but I don't know. For it's probably at least chilling because when you have a bunch of like trees, plenty nearby to you, it provides you with a lot of oxygen, for example, and it's cool. You can breathe with cleaner air, and it's just beautiful. Like when you are growing different plants, different trees, for example, it makes your surrounding more beautiful, and you are just enjoying live there. So it's just useful for nature, it's beautiful, and it's useful for yourself, like because of clean and air without pollution. So, do you think planting trees is important in cities? Why? Yes, definitely, because there are a bunch of cars who uh, not spray, yeah, who spray their gas, or how does it goes, into the air, and the air getting dirtier and dirtier, and it must be cleaned somehow, and trees is a good decision to keep your air that you're using to breathe every time cleaner, and yeah, it's like crucial in my imagination. Just it makes places more attractive, for example. uh, People want to spend more time there, like outside, and as a result it prevents somehow pollution of the sky, you know. All right, how can schools encourage children to learn about plants and nature? um Initially I wanted to say that it's probably not that necessary, but on the other hand, it's important to be aware about environmental issues that we have to care about trees, we have to care about our nature that surround us. Like it's very important, and I don't know, I just wasn't in school encouraged to learn about plants and nature. Like I like nature, I like to spend time there, but I don't really know a lot of information about plants because I don't know how do they call a lot of species of plants. I don't know their labels, their names. So I wasn't really encouraged in my case, but probably it's possible somehow to do that. It's like enough to create a subject, or even there not necessary to create a subject during the biology. There's already a subject like biology when you can talk about trees. Like the most important to make studying captivating and without a bunch of information, because when you're a child, when you have to absorb a bunch of information, it's not interesting to you, you don't remember anything. So they have to control I know quantity of information that they're providing with children's, and they have to make studying more captivating, to explain better about plants and nature, why it's important. Like I know that we have to care about it, we shouldn't neglect it, and we have to avoid pollution that can be created only due to our actions. So we have to avoid those troubles, and I know about that, but I don't know like about trees, about species of trees, and something like that. Alright, should governments invest more in green spaces? Mm, I don't know, like I think it depends on the country, because in some countries there are enough trees, enough forests to keep air clean, but in other country it can be common to um, when the trees are cutting down, and at the same time government have to care about growing new ones, you know. For example, in Ukraine, I know that it's an issue. By the way, I don't remember how this goes when you cut down trees. I remember I was talking about this topic, but I forgot how does it how does it goes. So what I was talking about, yeah, in West in green spaces. So yeah, I guess they don't need to invest that much money in that, but generally look after that to uh, be updated about condition in the country, how many forests cut it down, how many forests cut down, and as a result, how many trees they have to plant to grow, like to prevent pollution or to prevent troubles with air that we breathe every day. All right, how does having plants at home affects people's mental health? Bro, why do I have question like this? I don't know. Probably it's makes you calm and alright, it makes you calm and it's kind of chill, and probably your air is cleaner, so you feel better yourself. Maybe, I guess. And as I mentioned, mm, what I've just mentioned, I don't remember, by the way. So I have no insight into this. I remember I was learning about lies, about street lies. How does it affect your sleeping? How does noise affect your sleeping? Because I was interested in things that are related to me and that provide me with better life, better health. So of course it's also cool to have some plans. They are it, so I mean that having some plans at home is better than don't have it, and I have no idea like how does it affect people's mental health. I don't know. All right, are there environmental benefits to growing plants indoors? Um, I guess no matter where do you grow some plants, anyway, it's a benefit for environmental. So even if you're growing it at home or if you're growing it inside a building, anyway, it's useful because, for example, it's winter, you can grow it inside a building. Then it's summer or better season, you can move it outside and then continue growing there. So you just don't lose the time when the weather isn't suitable to grow some plants. So you can do it indoors and then you can grow it a bit. When the season is good, you can move it outdoors and continue growing there. So yeah, for environmental, it's a bunch of benefits and it's pretty useful. All right, that's all for today. I don't know, bro. Like talk about nature, about plants. It was a mistake probably, but as I mentioned, I almost ran off questions, so I need to answer each I can see. Alright, that's all for today. Thanks if someone watched it, and see you next time.